Coulter is the best-selling author. She wrote the definitive Trump book. It's called In Trump We Trust. If you haven't got it, you should go get that book. And, of course, the new column comes out tomorrow. You can go to AnnCoulter.com. And make sure you follow Ann Coulter on Twitter and Facebook and now Instagram. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Mark Simone?
Very good. Speaking of Twitter, you're one of the stars of Twitter. And
Why, thank you. By the way, that Instagram, I have to get my real name. I've only posted one photo under real Ann Coulter. The Ann Coulter at Instagram is not me.
Oh, but there is one that is you.
Yeah, there's one photo up.
Oh, okay. But you're one of the...
I haven't really figured that one out yet. I like Twitter.
Yeah, you're one of the big Twitter stars. And President Trump, he did it again yesterday with these tweets. And the media, they're like little dogs. You keep throwing the bone and they keep running after it. When are they going to learn? These tweets are here to stay. They're good, and people love them.
No, you're absolutely right about that. There's so many things you could get Trump on. In fact, I'm dropping enormous hints through my Twitter feed on what they ought to be attacking Trump on: not keeping his promises, not keeping his promises, not keeping his promises. But they were this hysterical reaction to every little thing that just makes all the rest of us laugh. No, I do think this is a a very big mistake on their part.
You know what they don't get? The guy that didn't know how to tweet was Barack Obama. You're not supposed to put very formal, pompous tweets up. You're supposed to be a little outrageous and a little funny. That's the idea.
Yes, and as long as you're mentioning it, I would like to throw in at this point, you're also allowed to make grammatical errors.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I mean, the idea is it's fast, it's quick. As soon as I realized that Twitter, when I first started, I wasn't really tweeting that much because I wasn't used to it. And then I used to send emails to my friends all day, and I thought, wait, instead of just sending this to 5 of my friends, how about I send it to all of Twitter? So it's just supposed to be, quick chit-chat, what you'd be emailing to your friends. That's what makes it fun.
And it's supposed to be sassy and funny. When Barack Obama tweets out, "Here's to a prosperous 2018. That's not a good tweet.
Well, one great thing, I was told Trump was sending all of these tweets about Iran the last day. I think it was the first of the year, so right after New Year's Eve, and that wasn't what people were chanting at his rallies. I think it was more something about a wall. And what set Trump apart? I mean, you've probably seen all this news about the Michael Wolff book, all these insider accounts, and the one that's drawing the most attention right now is one of Trump's friends, this Tom Barrack. I don't know how you pronounce his name.
Tom Barrack, yeah.
Yeah, I think he spoke at the convention, right? Anyway, he allegedly said that, what you have to understand, Trump isn't only crazy, he's also stupid. Now, whether or not Barrack said that, every time I hear things like that, I mean, obviously Trump is not stupid. Obviously he is not crazy. But there are a lot of crazy things about him. And the more they push what an unconventional campaign, what an utterly inexperienced campaign he had, his bad grammar and all of that, it just makes the point of his positions even more important. Americans didn't care. He could have been Zippy the chimp. Just please give us this platter of issues we have been dying to vote on for 30 years, and that was immigration, trade, and no more pointless wars. Those were the major popular issues that Trump was pushing, that no Democrat was pushing, and weirdly, no Republican was pushing either. For 30 years we've been waiting for a candidate who would care more about Americans than, wither Iran. I promise you, whatever we do or don't do in Iran, the Middle East is still going to be a hellhole when Trump leaves.
Yeah.
He has a shot to save America. That's what he campaigned on. Just shut up about Iran. Not really interesting to us. But somebody told me the good news on this was, yeah, I think it was New Year's Eve, and a lot of reporters, I saw reporters wherever I was, and they said no, that the Iran tweets were too sophisticated. Someone else was doing those tweets, and I was totally relieved. I wanted Trump to get back to tweeting about like Rosie O'Donnell. That's fun.
Exactly, and he's not supposed to be politicianish. They say he's not acting presidential. He's not supposed to be a professional politician. That's what we voted for.
I love when he's not a professional politician.
Yeah. I was watching Barack Obama speak he's the best speaker. It was so dignified and so classy when he spoke. His tone, his words. But then you look at him and you realize this is a guy who was totally disengaged, hands off, never got anything done, basically just acting presidential and doing nothing. I'd rather have a guy who doesn't act presidential and gets things done.
Oh, yes, and compare Trump to all the Republicans he ran against with their sophisticated campaigns and their talking points and their pollsters telling them what to talk about. But the donors saying, no, we beg you, don't touch immigration, don't touch trade, we're making money off of that. Trump didn't care. That was his kryptonite. He's holding the kryptonite to destroy all of his enemies, but he hasn't been using it very, very much or very effectively since he became president. I want him to get back to the kryptonite issues.
He'll get to it. Hey, the swamp is rising up again. Orrin Hatch is leaving. Mitt Romney will run for that Senate seat, and he'll win, and that will be the beginning of his, fourth presidential campaign?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he'd run again, but...
Oh, he is. He's not going to be senator because he wants to be senator. He's running for president.
Well, as you know, we both supported him, and I'd support him again, given the options. Look at who he was running against. But, I mean, all these Republicans, I don't understand. I thought after Trump won, as unconventional and with everyone against him, the Republican Party against him, obviously the Democrats, 100% of the media except, you, me, Breitbart, and, two other talk radio hosts. What did Hillary spend? $1.2 billion against him. With all of that, he still won. I thought that, Republicans in Congress would say, wow, this immigration issue is more potent than we realized. If only we started pushing immigration stuff, we could be popular too, and we don't have to be wacky. We can just grab the popular issues. If Romney would do that, great. He's an elegant speaker. He looks good in a suit.
But he can't do that.
His issues were the closest to Trump's of any Republican until Trump came along. That's what was so strange when Romney turned against Trump. I wanted Trump to take Romney as his vice presidential candidate because, he was Mr. Self-Deportation. He was denouncing China for the currency manipulation. On the issues, they're not that far apart. And it's really kind of appalling that our intellectuals and the great men on our side are such snobs, and all they care about is, I'm so appalled by the gold fixtures.
Yeah, but the traditional politicians will always talk about immigration, talk about all this, but just talk. They don't actually do anything because it hurts the business model. It goes against the lobbying money and what the swamp wants.
The same thing could be said about the emperor god Trump. We're looking for a little more action here.
You'll get your action. The border wall, there's 10 prototypes built.
It's coming. We used to say, so is Christmas. Christmas has come and gone.
I know, but the border wall, they're testing the prototypes right now.
Oh, my gosh, if you mention the prototypes, I will fly to New York and hold your head under the water until the bubbles stop.
I want you to fly to New York because there's a blizzard, the snowstorm coming tomorrow, and it's been 10 degrees for 2 weeks.
I know. This is so wacky. This is why I try to use extra aerosol. I'm trying to jumpstart global warming.
Oh, okay. So,
it's just cold.
Now, Michelle Bachmann,
oh, yeah.
Franken dropped out. He's no longer in the Senate.
Finally. I didn't think that moving van would ever show up.
But it looks like Michelle Bachmann might run for the seat. Are we happy about that?
I think so. She was good. I mean, I don't think she should have. If I had been her advisor, I would have said don't run for president. But I always thought she was great. And with all of the pressure of the campaigning, there were a few mistakes she made. But so what? No, I think she's really fantastic.
All right, now there's a big shocking thing coming. Steve Bannon has a new book coming out, and apparently
he doesn't. It's Michael Wolff's book, right?
Oh, is it Michael Wolff's book? But apparently...
That's the big headline stuff. He talks to Michael Wolff.
Bannon is going to say that Trump was treasonous, that the kids were talking to Russia, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's all in Michael Wolff's book, Fire and Fury or something like that.
Yeah, so what is that going to do? Are we going to believe any of that?
Well, looking at the quotes, he may have been a little more honest than it should have been. But the one quote that I think is the most unfair and untrue was the Barrett quote. That's the same book we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the quotes from Bannon didn't seem untrue to me. But, I mean, that's why there's a reason America didn't become great on the philosophy of, as soon as I achieve power, I will hire my friends and relatives. And basically that's what, at least from all of the quotes I saw from the book, the big Drudge headline today, it's all about people who were utterly inept to be running a presidential campaign. And I mean, one of the things Bannon says is you don't meet alone without lawyers in the Trump Tower with representatives from Russia saying, we have dirt on Hillary, which, we'll put a pin in that for a second. Of course, Hillary did something much worse, which no one cares about, which is not directly, but indirectly through Fusion GPS and her law firm, pay Russians for dirt on her opponent. So we have totally double standards here. But having said that, what Bannon says is, look, if you think they have something, send your lawyers up to a Marriott in New Hampshire, have your lawyers meet with them. You're no place near there. You're not in the room. Find out what they have. I mean, it is sort of simple campaigning advice, but as I was saying at the beginning of this interview, that's one of the charming, winning things about Trump, that he is not a politician, that the people who was working for him, well, it's not charming that he's hiring his friends and relatives, but it was an utterly inept campaign, and he, in many ways, other than Trump himself and Trump's ideas, what he was saying and what he was doing, and contra Barrack, he is not crazy, and he is very smart, and wow, does he have his finger on the pulse of what Americans want, which no other Republican would push. But, yeah, I mean, everything Bannon says, it doesn't seem untrue.
Well, everybody get Ann Coulter's book, In Trump We Trust. Now, that's the book on the whole campaign, everything, In Trump We Trust. And follow Ann Coulter on Twitter. If you don't already, you'll see she's one of the best tweeters out there. And, of course, the new column comes out tonight?
For the assiduous Ann Coulter readers, you can get an advance read tonight. Otherwise, it'll run tomorrow. And
go to AnnCoulter.com. And Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone. Bye-bye.
Take care.
We will make America great again.